Dr. Theresa Bullard, and this is another video blog on this series of the transformation that we are going through right now at this time in humanity's history. It's an amazing time. And as I've shared in some previous videos, we are going through a purification process. We are going through also an opportunity to let go of the old and to emerge into the new, to let go of old paradigm ways of doing things and embrace a new paradigm way of doing things. And also a big piece, as I shared in the last video blog, is that we are here to raise vibration, to refine and to perfect. And in this alchemical process that we're going through, it's all about reaching the highest potential that we can reach as a human collective. And it starts with each of us as individuals, right? We as individuals form a part of that collective. We have an impact on that collective. So if we want to change the greater whole, we need to start within. And in alchemy, they talk about that principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. So we want to merge that heaven and earth kind of experience, the powers of the spirit with the powers of the physical. But it's also as the inner, so the outer. And as the outer, so the inner. And this, macrocosm, microcosm, and how we reflect each other. So we as individuals are a reflection of what's happening outside. And what's happening outside is a reflection of what's going on inside of us. So when we talk about needing to refine and perfect and start integrating new paradigm ways of life on earth, and we want to continue with our mindfulness and continue with our good practices of cleanliness and hygiene, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. This is about rising above mediocrity. Our world has fallen into so much mediocrity, and so much has been driven by egocentric or I just can't be bothered by it. And, we look for what's the cheapest option or the easiest option or the fastest option. And we're devolving into mediocrity as a result of that. So we don't want to be mediocre. What I feel that we're being asked to rise up to is to let go of just this mediocre way of being where we don't think about how our actions impact other people. We are being asked to recognize we're all part of a collective, and everything I do and the way I live my life impacts everybody else. And so if we're being asked to rise to a higher level of mindfulness, a higher level of cleanliness and purity, a higher level of hopefully recognition of our connection to each other, this is about rising out of that egocentricity, out of that mediocrity, and into nobility. We could say into royalty. Some people don't resonate with that word, but it's let's just say it's into our divinity. We have these immense divine beings, the spirit, wisdom, beauty, goodness within us, and strength, and there's so much positive stuff within us. And yet when we're in a mindset of mediocrity, we're just like, oh, it's just good enough. We're just manifesting a little bit of it, but by no means are we manifesting all of it. And it reflects itself in how much of our DNA are we using, how much of our brain capacity are we using. We're just manifesting a fraction of the potential that we have, right? Maybe 3% of the potential within us as humans, just physically speaking. That's how much we're using right now. And that's a very mediocre way of life. So when we are moving forward to really rise as the phoenix, to really come and emerge from this transformational and metamorphosis process that we're going through and become that beautiful butterfly that humanity has the opportunity to become as a galactic human or as a more perfected human, it starts with each of us rising above our own mediocrity. It starts with each of us taking greater level of care in how we live our life day by day. And you can look to the people who are in examples. There's many examples of this where they pay attention to every little detail. And the details matter when it comes to awareness. Don't assume anything, right? Assumption is the enemy of perception. And if we want to become more aware, we have to expand our perceptions. So get rid of your assumptions and your judgments and your biases and your opinions of how things are. Let go of that and empty your cup so that you can become more awakened and aware of what's really going on. And rising above that mediocrity also, so paying attention to detail. Just as an example right now, the how long and what do you have to do to properly clean your hands, you have to be really present with it. We're cleaning, we're doing 20 seconds, we have to get all of the different parts. That's attention to detail when it comes to just something as simple as washing your hands. Take that and apply that now to every aspect of life. Not about getting obsessive. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about having some pride in the details, having some level of greater care about the details, right? Care about the influence that you have on others, care about how you show up in the world, rather than just, vegging out on the couch all day and just staying in your pajamas all day. When you're at home, I'm getting ready every day. I'm continuing to have some care about how I look and it's not about how I look in the sense of what other people think about me. It's about how I feel about myself and whether or not I am rising up into my full potential, and whether, or if I'm just being lazy, right? If we want to rise to our full potential, it's not about being lazy. It's about really challenging ourselves to really embody our full divinity and our full potential. And some people say, well, you're God or goddess or divine being, regardless of how you look. Yeah, that's true. But are you really honoring that divinity within you by looking like a slob? Not so much. So if it's about alchemy, as the inner, so the outer. So if you're really tapping into your inner potential and that inner divinity, then you are also going to be showing up in the world reflecting that into your outer life as well. So you're gonna be regal. You're going to take attention to the details of everything within your environment as well. The amount of cleanliness that people are being asked to do to sanitize their environment and stay clean, it's like we're becoming more aware. So it's not just about you and your physical appearance, it's also your home and how you're taking care of your home and whether you're allowing dust and dirt to accumulate on surfaces and doorknobs and the floor and everything, right? We're having to clean everything right now. And this is good, but make it a way of life. Don't just make it just so that we can get past this current situation with the pandemic. Let's make this a way of life and let's rise above the mediocrity. Let's come back into a sense of nobility and care and royalty, regalness for how we want to live our life on a day-to-day basis. And then from ourselves to our homes and our families to then our community and how we show up in the community and what positivity we spread versus negativity. Have care in your words and the impact that your words have on other people. How you talk, our language has been devolving even, everything is, we used to have a lot more vocabulary in our language and just the English language. And now everything is becoming more and more simplified and we're getting into textese and everything is continuing to devolve even within our language. And that affects how we think. That affects how we perceive. It affects how we relate to people. So we need to bring back a sense of nobility into our language and our use of words and the time we take to send a message to other people, whether you're saying it, you're typing it out, take the time, have some care and rise above that mediocrity. So I'm just going to encourage you to start noticing this in your life. Notice where, I'm maybe just sort of dropping the ball here or just kind of getting by with just good enough, but it's not really the best. And challenge yourself to improve in those areas. Challenge yourself to rise above that mediocrity and really embrace, your greater potential and your greater strengths. In the process of doing that, it's going to awaken, it's going to call those gifts and those potentials forward to be more active in your life as well, rather than just ignoring them or thinking they're not there. They are there, but you have to step into using them. So this is a big piece of what also will help us move towards that next stage of the alchemical process that I talked about in the previous video, where we're moving into the distillation, the refinement phase, the maturing phase. We're moving out of mediocrity into that nobility, that regalness, that royalty, that sense of our own divinity as individuals, as a collective, the way we treat each other, the way we treat our environment, the way we treat the world. All of this is needed, because what we want to do is we want to create a harmonious world, a new society. In the mystery tradition, we call it Shambhala, that it's a world of harmony and awakening and enlightenment, balance, peace. It's beautiful. You know, there's abundance for everybody. There's everybody doing what they love and honoring everybody else for the role and the contribution that they make in this world. So I have a vision of this Shambhala happening within my lifetime, and I hope that you will join me in that vision, because we can make this happen. It is within our grasp. Within the next 30 years, maybe less, it is within our grasp to really do this. We can, even within the next 2 years, if we choose to really step up and do it and make that shift in consciousness, we can solve the problems of the world. We can end, you know, the pandemics. We can end starvation. We can end poverty. We can do so much if we can just get innovative. And not only that, we have the innovations, we have the tools, we have the strategies. It's all there. We just need to choose to use them. And as a collective, we need to awaken to our greater responsibility, personal responsibility, and the choice to use our tools, to use the gifts and the innovations that are there for us individually and collectively, so that we can make a greater contribution to the whole and create that Shambhala world, to create that much more harmonious, sustainable, and balanced world. So I hope you'll join me and continue to follow the video blog series and the articles and so forth that I have been putting out there, to try and just support those who are seeking that support. And feel free to share this with anyone else who you think needs to hear this message. And then also subscribe to my newsletter if you haven't already, so that you can be kept informed of new videos as they come out and any other opportunities that are coming soon. Thank you.